Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Batman Reborn Batman. This is Dick Grayson as Batman that filled in while Batman was, quote-unquote, dead. Of course, just like all comic characters, he came back at one point. But this looks to be a fantastic Batman figure. Been wanting a Dick Grayson Batman, and not a crappy one, for a really long time. Been hitting up Walmart stores, constantly looking for the new case, and I finally found a store that had a couple of them. Now, there is a Platinum Chase variant of this Dick Grayson Batman that I was unable to find. I saw 4 of these Dick Grayson Batmans today. My buddy found 2. No Platinums. I am desperately looking for that figure. If anyone has a lead on where I can get one, please drop me a line in the comments below. I'm actually looking for 2 of them, and it is a gorgeous figure, but so is the regular one. In the meantime, let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts. McFarlane Toys, ages 12 plus. DC Multiverse Batman. Here he is in the package. Looks like we have a total of 6 hands, collector's card, and display stand. One side of the package, Batman from Batman Reborn. Other side, Batman. At the bottom, there's his barcode, if that helps. And on the back side, here's the Dick Grayson Batman, next to the Damian Wayne Robin from Batman Reborn. Normally I would get 2 of these figures, but I ordered the bundle from the McFarlane Toy Store, so I'll have my second one coming eventually. Now I just need to find the Platinums. So no further ado, let's open him up. Alright, now that this figure out of the package, here he is with all the accessories laid out. He doesn't come with any traditional accessories. We have a display stand, collector's card, and 4 alternate hands, totaling 6 interchangeable hands. Before I take a look at all that, let's talk about and check out the figure. So this is Dick Grayson as Batman from Batman Reborn. During that storyline, Bruce Wayne had died. Darkseid had killed him, but it turned out he was really displaced through time. Dick Grayson took the mantle of the Bat reluctantly, and worked with a brand new Damian Wayne Robin, and they defended the streets of Gotham. It looks like this guy is done with the Nightfall body, although it looks like maybe there are some differences, but we'll check that out in depth shortly. In the meantime, let's take a look at him. So, it's a leaner, thinner Batman. He's on the black and gray type suit. We have a large bat symbol with no oval. Semi-long ears, you can kind of see the ears and the cowl there. White lenses on the eyes. He's got that very unique belt to Dick Grayson Batman. He actually comes with 2 sort of Batman breast knuckles on these pair of hands. Definitely see some Nightfall Batman body parts on here. Double jointed elbows, double jointed knees, and a cloth wired cape. Absolutely phenomenal. Digging those capes, digging this figure. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt, which I think looks terrific. They did an excellent job with this figure so far. Liking pretty much everything about him. And then here's the figure, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's check out his accessories, starting off with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand, typical McFarlane stand we've seen a million times before. It's very thin, very basic, but effective. Here's his collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of the Dick Grayson Batman from Batman Reborn. Looks pretty similar to the figure. Batman from Batman Reborn. See that signature belt there, bat symbol. On the back there is a description. If you want to read that, pause now. Now let's check out his hands. He has a total of 6 of them, 3 right hands and 3 left hands. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are a couple of fists, and they have these Batman brass knuckles on them. It looks like some sort of energy in the front. Pretty cool accessory, and I bet you can put these onto a different Batman, like the blue and gray Nightfall Batman. Here's his second pair of hands. This is a pair of gripping hands. Then, his third pair of hands. This looks to be a pair of grabbing, choking, or throwing hands. And yes, it does work when doing the hand swap with the Bruce Wayne black and gray Nightfall Batman. Looks fantastic on either one of those figures. Now to check out the differences in reuse between this Dick Grayson Batman and the black-gray version of the Nightfall Batman. So let's take a look. Obviously the heads, they're different. They are similar, but they're different. And the cape is obviously different. This one has the rubber plastic cape. This one has the cloth cape. The torso area, it actually looks to be the same. I can see the same little sort of wrinkle here at the bottom of the bat symbol. But of course, they removed this, flattened it out, and had their own bat symbol there. Stomach's the same. Looks like the arms are the same, at least the top bicep part, but then the forearm is a little bit different gloves. And I would say the legs, waist down, everything looks to be the same. Of course, the diaper's a little bit different, as the belt has been replaced with a Dick Grayson belt. So essentially, they're exactly the same figure, different head, different forearms, different belt, different cape, different paint job. Here are all the McFarlane DC Multiverse figures that utilize this Nightfall Batman body. So far, there are 9 of them, and whenever I get the Platinum Dick Grayson Batman, there will be 10. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at the figure and his accessories, let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing around 7.1 inches tall, which can translate to about 18 centimeters. If you go to the top of the ears, about 7.3 inches tall. And for his articulation, starting with his head, of course, it can rotate side to side. He can look up, not much, up and down, a little bit, not too much. Tilt his head from one side to the other. Shoulders on a ball joint, goes out about 90 degrees, up, down, around. He's got this butterfly ring between his shoulder and chest area, increasing the range of motion and covering the large gap that would be there. Bicep cut, double jointed elbows. His wrists can rotate, and it's going to be hinged, although you can't get much out of that. Torso, he has a ball joint, rotate around, forward and back. Another one in his waist, rotate around, forward and back. Between the two, pretty good range of motion in the torso. Legs completely does splits, McFarlane style hip joints, rotation, pretty good on him. They go forward about that far, back not much. Double jointed knees, and his ankle, forward and back, rotate, tilt, rock, and of course, articulation. Here's a look at Dick Grayson as Batman, next to his trusty sidekick, Damian Wayne Robin, looking over and protecting Gotham City. Professor Pig is one of those more modern Bat Rogues that was heavily used in the Batman Reborn storyline. Here's Professor Pig dissecting and altering this victim, turning him into one of his Dolatrons. In drop Batman and Robin to stop Professor Pig, but they're obviously far too late to save this John Doe. Professor Pig calls in all of his other Dolatrons to take out Batman and Robin. They've got their work cut out for them. Now let's check them out. Next to some other action figures, starting off with some other Batman Reborn figures. Here's this Dick Grayson Batman, next to Two-Face's Batman, the only other figure that McFarlane has made specifically labeled as Batman Reborn. And here he is, next to the DC Direct Batman Reborn wave, Azrael, Jason Todd as Batman, Two-Face's Batman, and Stephanie Brown Batgirl. Now I thought it was a really cool wave, a lot of unique figures and releases during this. I always wish they made a second assortment from Batman Reborn. There were plenty of other characters they should have or could have made. In particular, Dick Grayson as Batman. And here's this Dick Grayson Batman, next to a couple of McFarlane, Damian Wayne, Robin figures. These are in his traditional red, yellow, and green outfits, but look a little bit different than he did in Batman Reborn. McFarlane actually has the proper Damian Wayne Robin coming out in the near future to pair up with his Dick Grayson Batman. And even though technically part of the Batman Incorporated line, this DC Direct Batman Incorporated Damian Wayne Robin is about the most perfect Robin to pair up with this Dick Grayson Batman. Scale-wise and costume-wise, it's the exact look from Batman Reborn. Then, next to the Mattel DC Universe Classics Signature Collection Damian Wayne Robin. This one also looks pretty good, next to this Dick Grayson Batman. Here's this McFarlane Dick Grayson Batman, next to Mattel's really poorly done Dick Grayson Batman. It's done on the exact same body as a bunch of Mattel DC Multiverse actual Batman figures, and my god, that cape is just atrocious. And here's this Dick Grayson Batman, next to a custom civilian Dick Grayson I made using that Mattel Dick Grayson head that came with that Batman figure. McFarlane could also do a pretty cool unmasked version of this Dick Grayson Batman. Now let's check him out, next to some other McFarlane Dick Grayson figures. Here's Dick Grayson as Batman, next to the original old school Dick Grayson as Robin. And here he is, next to a couple more McFarlane Dick Grayson figures. These are a little bit older versions of Dick Grayson as Robin, one of which is from the Batman and Robin movie, and one of which is from the Page Puncher Fighting the Frozen Caveman line. And here he is, next to all the McFarlane Dick Grayson Nightwing figures. There are a total of 8 of them so far. This is what Dick Grayson is most known for, being Nightwing. And here are all the different McFarlane Dick Grayson figures they've made, as Nightwing, Robin, and Batman. The next Dick Grayson figure to come out is the Batman Forever Dick Grayson Robin. In fact, that one just shipped from the McFarlane toy store today. Now let's check him out, next to some other McFarlane Batman figures. Here he is, next to several different McFarlane DC Multiverse Batman figures. These are all from the comics, and these are some of the older releases. And here he is, next to several more McFarlane Batman figures. These are also from the comics, and these are a little bit more recent releases. Then, with several more McFarlane Batman figures. These are from different various forms of media. Now let's check him out, next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is next to the rest of his wave. We have the Adam West Batman, Dick Grayson Batman, and World's Finest Fusion Batman Superman. Each of these figures has a Platinum Chase variant. I'm on the hunt for the Platinum Adam West and Dick Grayson Batman figures. If anybody out there has a lead on where I'm able to get one, or can help me out, please drop me a line in the comments below. It is much appreciated. And as you can see, I've already found the Platinum Fusion Batman. Here's the Dick Grayson Batman, next to most recent Platinum Wave. We have Hugo Strange's Batman, Bullseye Batman, Ben Affleck Batman from The Flash in the blue and gray outfit, and then Batman Begins, Lucius Fox. And here he is, next to the 6th wave of Collector's Edition figures. Clock King, Red Hood, Ragman, and Agent Liberty. And once again, there are Platinum Chase variants for all of these figures, and I'm on the hunt for them. Any help is always appreciated. Then, next to the Walmart exclusive Max Mercury. Still looking for the Vampire Shazam from his wave, but I'm sure I'll find him soon. And now, next to the DC Classics Darkseid Mega figure. Here's the Dick Grayson Batman, next to the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Superman Centennial Park tribute statue. And here he is, next to the DC Rebirth Tim Drake Robin, and both the Platinum and regular versions of the Cyborg Superman. Then, next to the previous Platinum Wave, Sportsmaster, New 52 Reverse Flash, and Manhunter. And now, with the second digital wave, Green Arrow, Superman, and the Atom. And finally, next to the 5th wave of McFarlane Collector's Edition figures, both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of Sergeant Rock, Manga Batman, and Connor Kent Superboy. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you don't know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane toy, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work my way smaller, and I'm going to include as many Batman figures as I can during these comparisons. Here he is, next to some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. And now, here he is, next to some Jack-specific wrestling figures, and some Diamond Select toys. Here's Batman, next to a container of cornstarch. And here he is, next to some DC Direct and NECA Batman figures. Then, with both some Mattel and Jazzwares wrestling figures. And now, with some Mezco and Mattel Batman figures. Next, with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends. And finally, with some SH Figure Arts Batman figures and some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, this is a very nice Dick Grayson Batman figure. It is the best one out there, and considering the competition is that horrible Mattel one, really not that bold of a statement. Sculpt and paint job are excellent. It does use a lot of parts from the Nightfall Batman, and that's not really a bad thing. It's only bad when you have the two figures right next to each other because they shouldn't look that similar. But the Nightfall Batman's a smaller body, so he looks fantastic next to like a Bruce Wayne Batman and the Hush body, a little bit larger. This guy's a little bit leaner. The cloth soft goods wired cape, fantastic. The accessories, I appreciate the hands and the Batman type of sort of brass knuckles. But it would have been nice if he had a Batarang or grapple launcher or something like that. If I were to rate this figure, I'm really liking him a lot. I think he looks fantastic. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10, and I know I've been rating a lot of figures that high lately, but there's been a lot of good shit coming out, and there's a lot more coming out on the horizon. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.